Hi everyone, so welcome to another episode. I hope everyone is doing well. As we sort of move into the Christmas season, I come across an interesting article about journeys over the Christmas and New Year period and how they relate to potential EVs and electric cars. So there was a study recently carried out by Peugeot, those that are bringing out the E208 and a couple of other electric cars, and they done a study and a survey that said that the average person or the average family does approximately 78 miles between the 23rd of December and the 2nd of January over the Christmas period, visiting various friends and family and people like that. And basically, if you look at that as a whole, that is well within a reasonably cheap, low battery range EV. And over that period, you're likely to either stop at people's houses, in which case you can potentially plug in with a 3-pin if they don't own an electric car, or fast chargers for 20 minutes. So it got me thinking in terms of why in some cases and some people why electric cars really, they don't consider it a thing. When one of the busiest times a year we're doing an average of about 80 miles over the course of many days, that most people discount electric cars when clearly they probably shouldn't. Now, of that, apparently, and I'm quoting here, a third of those people that were spoken to about this survey said that they would more than happily do that journey in an electric car. Now, bearing in mind electric cars only make up about less than 2% of overall car sales so far, although that is increasing. It's just surprising that more people aren't going for this. We've seen this time and time again where I get asked, well, is an EV right for me? And it's, well, there's always a question. So the first question I always ask is, what actual real world distance do you do on a day-to-day basis? And most people will instantly tell you, oh, I do hundreds of miles, or I do, more than 100 miles. And I was having a discussion with a friend of mine who doesn't have an EV at the moment, but will be looking in the next sort of 18 months. And we worked out on a daily basis roughly what she did. So in her case, it was one day was about 25 miles. The next day was about 50 miles. A couple of more days in the week were 25 miles, maybe a bit more at the weekend. And actually her range for the entire week ended up about 150 odd miles. So this is another person, a friend of mine, who doesn't have the opportunity to have home charging because of, they do have a house but they don't have an opportunity for a driveway or close to the house to actually be able to charge. But working out her journeys and the amount that she does with one rapid charge a week, or one stop at a slower charge whilst doing shopping or going into town for the week, she could fill her entire car up and then be okay for the next week. Now this leads on to some of the cars with 120 to 150 mile range. Now this person in particular is looking at the new Mini EV when it comes out, and that's got, I think it said, about 125 miles, which on one rapid charge a week is absolutely perfect. Now obviously that will drop in the winter, as we all know, but it just shows that if you work out on a day-to-day basis exactly and realistically what you do in terms of mileage, A, you don't do as much as you think you do, but B, electric cars become a completely feasible, easy option, even if you don't have home charging. Now obviously if you do have home charging and you got the opportunity to put a charger in, brilliant. You come home at night, you plug in, and in the morning you've got a car that's fully charged. Is exactly the same as your mobile phone. So your mobile phone, when you've used it all day, you plug it in at night, you wake up in the morning, that phone is fully charged. It's absolutely no different to an electric car. So it's just one of the articles that really surprised me, that certainly with the amount of journeys over the Christmas period, how much of that could be could be done in an electric car. And actually, one of the stats what was really interesting was that if the same people that they surveyed done the same journey over Christmas and New Year in an electric car, they would save 1.3 tons of CO2 emissions. So, you know, not only is there a cost saving in terms of going electric, there's an environmental saving in terms of that amount of CO2 going, you know, into the atmosphere as well. So to me, it's a no-brainer. I've been driving an EV for the last, I would say, a year and a half, almost 2 years now, with no home charging, and it's got easier as the weeks have gone on. So if you're thinking about it, or you're thinking about a new car, what I would suggest is at least be open to the idea. Don't shut it off straight away. You probably don't do as much mileage as you think you do. So anyway, just a bit of the thoughts around that. It was an interesting article, and it was good to have a look at that. Anyway, if you did like that episode, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and until next time, have a good Christmas and thanks very much. Bye bye.